Hi everyone and welcome to ASTROdesign. My name is Lily and I'm just starting to make videos in English after a few years of creating content in other language. For those who do not know me, I am an academic nurse who specializes in diabetes. But from a young age, my passion was to understand people and contribute them to balance themselves by raising self-awareness and practical knowledge to change their lives for the better. In order to do this, I use my innate skills as a projector. This term is coming from human design, from mystics, along with a combination of some powerful knowledge system such as human design, gene keys, and of course, astrology. So I invite you to my channel to be part of this practical knowledge that I'm sure is going to be very valuable to your lives and will help you to change yourself and your life for the better. This video, I'm going to talk about the full moon that is going to happen on the 21st of June in the morning at 3 degrees in Capricorn. When the moon is full, it's of course the opposite from the new moon. That is, what you have done so far can end. You can have the fruits of what you have done so far to rethink if that is what you really wanted in your life. It is also advisable to get rid of things that have not worked since the last months and close the cycles. The full moon calls us to finish things we have discovered that no longer contribute us. During the full moon, the emotional world is very powerful and anything can go out of proportion, so take that into account. On the other hand, it is a huge boost to action and goal achievement, a peak time of something we have done so far for better or for worse. The full moon is the brightest and the boldest moment of the lunar cycle. It brings in an extreme energy that is equally exaggerated and goes beyond common sense. It contributes to the feeling of enlightenment, helps us to see situations and results, bringing information that was hidden from our eyes earlier. This is not the time to start something new, but to bring to a climax something that we have done so far. So in this video, I will describe the position of the moon using human design system. I will tell you what are the challenges in this specific position and how they come and how they can be overcome. Through the location of the moon in your birth chart, you can diagnose which area of your life is going to be affected. It's important to check if this moon firms important aspects with the planets in your birth chart, because if it does, you will feel this transit much stronger. So in this video, I talk only about the human design part and the houses in astrology, but not the aspects. If anyone who wants to know more exactly how this will affect his next month, can contact me for a short consultation according to the rates listed below the video. I will begin to explain you what is going to happen according to human design. So the moon is going to reside in gate energy 10.4. The gate itself, his meaning and energy, is our self-behavior. It's responsible for norms of behavior and their understanding in our society. It is the gate of our true self-nature, to be and to feel alive in the world. The energy with the most ability to condition others. This energy tries to answer the question, How can anyone live this life and express themselves individually? How do you express the existential quality necessary to be in the experience of life? In this energy, we have the ability to love ourselves, to love living in the universe, to be a part of the process of life, or the opposite around, to hate. This is the code of behavior that is built into our genes. Everything related to behavior is supposed to make life much easier. But as soon as someone does not behave according to his nature, life begins to be very difficult. The more you are yourself, the greater the ability to survive in life, regardless the circumstances. The intention here is, first of all, to live in a way that is natural to yourself. That is the true happiness in life. Being in your true nature is the greatest success in life that we can achieve. Individual differentiation is the cornerstone of evolution itself, as well as the awakening of each human being to his higher self, but not in an egoistic way that harms others. In human design, it is one of the gates of love. Love to be ourselves, love to be alive, love to live, to life itself. The name of the 10th gene key is natural being, a unique and individual energy whose shadow only considers itself in its own behavior. Wants to change everyone so that they will behave like them and conform to their norms. It is an energy that casts its unique norms of behavior on others, and it is difficult for it to accept unique behavior that does not suit it. Difficulty accepting others as they are stems from the fear of losing identity, self-identity. Through the lens of the 10th shadow, all you see when you look at others is people you would like to change. There is a constant preoccupation here with how I look, how I behave, what my identity is, and what I feel and what others feel towards me. Only a person who is aware of these obsessions in him will be able to get out of them and start accepting others in his life. Otherwise, the preoccupation with himself and who he is will cause a person to shut himself off from the outside world, which can ruin any relationship. So people will be in two types of extremes here, or self-denial and focus on a false identity. These people who live only through others and constantly compromise on themselves. This inevitability leads to self-hatred. This is the kind of people that religion and sects target because they are very easy to influence. They seek outside protection and support, and their character weaknesses are very appealing to others to take advantage of them. On the other hand, the other extreme side of it, it will be people who will express themselves as narcissists, excessive self-love that denies others. But to balance negative energy, and especially that it is the full moon period, we must release the obsessive search for our identity. Because we are neither the body nor our thoughts. We are part of creation and we are born for a supreme purpose. And that is to contribute to our being and be part of the great body called universe. A few words about the first line of this gate. This line called the opportunist in human design. It's looking for opportunities to express itself and his uniqueness through waiting for the right timing and location when it's aware of it, of course. Merging with norms of behavior in society to belong until there comes an opportunity to make change in them. For example, if you have a job and you want a new one, you must not leave the old one until you find a new job. The ability to wait for the right opportunity leads to success. This is what line calls us and tells us to do, to wait. But it also has extremism and fixation, an inability to change our inner norms and behavior even when it is the right timing. This is the challenge here, because this is the line that does not like changes and is very difficult for it with changes. This is because even though the moon calls for us to release ineffective behavior and norms, and even now give us the opportunity to do so, it is going to be a great difficulty for most of the people to actually make the release. Therefore, people will be more extreme in their self-obsession and will have a harder time in relationship and courtship. From the astrological point of view, the moon is in Capricorn. This is its fall position. He does not like it. He feels very depressed here in the Saturn's domain. This moon seeks security and justification for itself through too many other people. This is the challenge of this moon. The goal is to release this ineffective behavior pattern, to stop looking for justification from the outside. Everything you need is already inside you. There is a fear in this position that no one loves me, that I'm rejected, a lot of self-doubt. It is time to find your self-worth from within and release the need for confirmation from the outer world. In terms of the astrological map of this event, the positive is the aspect that the Sun gets from Jupiter. Its multiply are optimism, spiritualism, and abundance. The ego gets a boost of joy and wisdom from Jupiter. Because this is water signs, there is a multiplicity of mixed emotions and instability in the emotion field. The emphasis is on the spiritual and less material plane, especially since the material gets negative twists, because when Venus is at a difficult aspect to Pluto, which indicates power struggles over money, our comfort zone, and self-worth. These issues are undergoing a painful transformation. Other sore points on this map are Mars, which represent our energy levels, activity, and execution in life, gets two negative aspects. A very frustrating aspect from Saturn, who tells him, "What do you think you are doing? Sit still and do not move much. Otherwise, you will receive heavy punishment and more frustration and even physical damage from me." There is also another challenging aspect to Mars from Uranus, which creates nervousness and urge to act for change. We have the need to go behind Saturn's back right now, behind the authority figures in our lives, behind the law, and do something against all odds, but it will not work. It is advisable to engage in very moderate sport activities to prevent physical harm, to engage more in mental than physical activity. If you feel resistance in your activity, you need to release it, overthink it, and recalculate a new route. Do not try to apply even more force to break the wall of resistance. It will not work and will leave scars. So, in what field it will affect you and how? Let's move to the houses. So if the full moon is going to happen in your first house, for you, it can be painful issues of self-acceptance versus popularity among other people that will come up. To what extent do you seek confirmation of your appearance and character from others? How much do you seek attention from others in order to feel that you have value? The moon calls on you to release harmful behavior and begin to accept yourself as you are, unconditionally. There is room for improvement, and it is important that you be practical in this improvement. That means that the improvement could come only from within, and not because somebody told you you have to behave one way or another. Your behavior is individual, and as long as it does not harm others, it also has a place in this world, and it really does not matter what others think about it. In addition, this position indicates that you can be extreme in your norms of behavior and not accept other people who behave differently from you. This extremism must be released because it is not beneficial to you. You have to understand that. The full moon is the brightest point for your individual expression. Take this opportunity and use it for something positive in your personal development. Full moon in the second house. The full moon here calls you to release harmful values of insecurity and lack of self-esteem. During this time, anything related to your money or family assets will reach to its peak. Your family may be teasing you because of behavior they think is inappropriate, or you will be dissatisfied with the appreciation you receive from them. It's time to stop playing arrogance and empty ego games. You are who you are, and this is already worth a lot. Focus on what you have achieved so far. To stabilize your material world, you have to try and put a lot of attention here. And of course, maintain a balance in your diet. It can be the key to improving your economic problems. Full moon in the third house. The full moon here urges you to stop seeking attention through verbal communication with your environment. Stop looking for confirmation from your younger siblings or uncles. You need to learn how to communicate the right timing because it is critical to improving self-confidence and issues of acceptance or rejection from immediate environment. This is a peak period in terms of studying or developing your own skills. You will want to share more information across the media and market yourself more. It should be noted that you need to make sure your communication won't be too extreme and will not attract fire. It is time to get rid of inefficient communication that takes place due to an internal fear of social rejection. First house. For you, the full moon calls for making order in emotional issues and also in relationship with family members, the ones that live with you under the same roof, and in general in your home and real estate issues, as well as your dealings with your mother. You may be too compromising on yourself in the home setting by letting others tell you what to do and how to behave. But it can be the contrary as well, when you are like a dictator and tell everybody else how to behave in the same place where you live. You do it for the fear of rejection. You need to be aware of that fear. It is important to examine this matter and understand this is an unrealistic fear and behavioral fixations that only hurts you. It can deprive you of happiness and create negative emotions. Because it is a full moon, real estate issues will reach its peak. Or relationships with people that you live with can reach an unpleasant explosion. Remember that you have the ability to prevent this imbalance by balancing yourself through self-acceptance first of all, and then it will be much easier to accept others. There is a chance that you will discover something interesting and new related to real estate or vehicles. Something with your mom can also reach to its climax. The fifth house, full moon in the sector related to your children, romantic issues, creative projects, and in general, issues of love and emotional satisfaction. So this place from the start is making it difficult for all the above, because Moon in Capricorn in Saturn's world creates rigidity and inflexibility in these areas. If you have not been able to do this before, it is time to learn self-love and accept yourself much more. This will be made possible by doing something creative or engaging in sports, whatever you love. You may be sometimes too harsh with your children and they complaining about it, or you may compromise on your own good for them. One way or another, these are two types of your behavioral extremism, and it does not lead to anything positive. I recommend focusing on something you love to do and just do it more. This will lead to greater satisfaction, especially since it is a full moon that produces a lot of light in this sector. Take advantage of this to level up your understanding and acceptance of your creativity and the freedom of others, especially your children. Full moon in the sixth house. For you, the full moon will stay in the sector of work, your services, health issues, duties, debts, and dealing with life crises. The moon calls on you to break free from the need to receive compliments and appreciation from colleagues and bosses. Even if you are not shown appreciation, it does not mean that what you do has no value. Your behavior at work can be more practical and it will help to organize your daily routine better. Attention should be paid to nutrition in the near future, and this issue should also be very careful balanced. Eat less fatty and more fresh food. There is a chance for an increase in anxieties concerning your employment and in even conflicts at work because of your own behavior. If others do not accept you where you work, maybe it's time to resign. But first, find an alternative. The most important thing in life is self-acceptance, not letting others step on you and tell you how to behave. If your behavior does not harm others, there is no need to compromise on yourself because it can really harm your health in the end. Full moon in the 7th house. Issues related to both personal and business relationships are in focus, and some of this will culminate. Your spouse may not accept your behavior and you may feel rejected, or on the contrary, you may find it difficult to connect with the behavior of others, and that is why you have difficulty finding a partner in your life. It is now time to find acceptance and self-love, because without it, you will not find somebody who will love you. You may want to start an independent business in the near future, or a joint project between you and your spouse may be underway. If you are already in business, then this is a time when more customers can come to you if you give and have given good service in the past. But you need to be aware of your behavioral code, because it may reject others or they may reject you because of it. The most important thing is to be true to yourself and not compromise on your personal needs for others, but also be accepting to others. It is time when you will like to meet a new person if you are single. But you have to be aware of the code behavior and accept somebody different from you. If you will and you can compromise, you will find somebody new. The 8th house. Issues of transformation and change will come to a climax, as well as matters of inheritance, your and the spouse's money, joint property. Sudden event can occur in the field of health. So be more careful on the roads. Avoid reckless decisions about money. It may be a time of financial waste for something big that you do not necessarily need. It is important that you make sure that there is value to this purchase and that it is practical. You may be trying too hard to control other people's behavior, and they may be trying to do it with you. It's time to pay attention to it and get out of ineffective, obsessive patterns that too much controlling. When you control, nothing good can come out of it. You need to balance it. It's a record time for some change in your life. Accept it with love and it will be to your advantage. The full moon in the 9th house. For you, abroad issues like relationships with tourists and strangers, spiritual studies, religion and education issues will reach some peak. But do you tell others how to behave? Would you like others to tell you how to behave? The individual expression of your behavior can only be expressed if you have been invited to do so, and not with a forceful push. Besides, it is also important to behave according to what you demand from others, like practice what you preach, right? Otherwise, you are not an example, and this will cause others to reject you and your opinions. It is a good time to publish a book or article you have written, a good time to go for vacation abroad, or go to a personal development workshop. For the 10th house, it's a record time of your employment and career. The bosses may give you promotion or more authority, thanks to your perseverance and ambition. If you are the boss, it is important to learn to accept other people who have different norm behaviors from yourself. Otherwise, there will be conflicts with them. Arguments can exist between you and the bosses because of something connected to behavior. It is also possible that you are too compromising on yourself at work, and this causes others to impose too many commitments. It hurts your emotional or domestic world. Of course, a lot of it depends on the aspects that this moon creates with other planets in your birth chart. So this is not a career change period. It is better to stay and persevere in what you are doing and accept it with love. You may discover something important about your career and important goals for your future. In the 11th house, it's a record time regarding the fulfillment of wishes or vice versa. Selectivity in your wishes now very, very important. Self-fulfillment in society and also issues of technology can come up. Because this is a social sector and behavior issues here, there is an emphasis on acceptance versus a rejection from your friends and society in general. To what extent do you compromise on your character in order to please people in society or in your friend circle? To what extent, on the contrary, do you stay away from everyone because you do not accept their behavior? These are two types of extremes that interfere with your life, prevent you from achieving emotional balance and self-confidence. Your individuality wants to be more expressed, but it is important that it be within the norms of the society in which you live. We are not alone in this world, each of us influencing the other, and therefore it is necessary to resolve selfish behaviors that does not contribute to society and engage in something more altruistic as long as it does not harm your own individuality. 12th house. So for you, it's a record time for trade and exchange with parties from abroad or travel abroad or work abroad, as well as issues related to spirituality and retreat can exist. Remember that any loss or termination of something that will occur in your life right now happens because of problems with your norms of behavior, your unconscious fear. It is good to focus now on healing yourself from anxiety and problems related to self-love. And remember that every ending is the beginning of something better. For more interesting videos, I invite you to subscribe to my channel. Please like the video. Thanks for watching and see you soon. Good luck to everyone.